Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it's They Made What into a TV series, as we were excited to continue the Halo talk through. We are up to episode number 2, Unbound. Directed again by Otto Bathurst, written by Carl Killian and Stephen Kane. Guys, go back and check our talk through of episode number 1 and see how much we enjoyed it. Also, for relevancy, if you are for some reason watching this without watching episode 1 that we talked about, I'll just remind you, we don't have a strong relationship with Halo.
Nope.
So for us, we can watch this show with a detachment and enjoy it in a sort of sci-fi bubble. It has its flaws, but so far it's been incredibly entertaining.
Yep, definitely.
And this one continues it for me.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I was stoked to watch this because the first one built stuff up so much. So it was interesting to start 22 years ago. That's how we begin. We go back in time. A younger John, played by Logan Shearer. He is at a UNSC training centre on Reach. He meets up with a Spartan in the middle of the night called Soren. And Soren's played by Jude Kajol. It appears as though they're planning to run away from the Spartan program. But John has changed his mind and holds Soren at gunpoint. Soren tries to talk John around, and John ends up giving him time to escape. 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. I really like this interaction between them here. I like that we see the early stages of John's, indoctrination, if you want to call it that.
Mind control.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's really cool. And it introduces Soren, who will become a more important character as this show goes on. Back with the adult John and Quan. They established they don't know anything about the artifact. And I was like, well, that's part of the course then. Cool. They also discussed the reason John helped her. And basically, he doesn't really know, but he just knew he couldn't let her be executed. Fair enough. On Reach, discussions about Chief and why he did what he did continue. Halsey believes John has been affected by the artifact, but is having some trouble convincing the others. They're simply just not happy about not only a rogue Spartan, the rogue Spartan.
The main one,
him. We see that other members of the Silver Team without their helmets on, so that's our introduction to them with a helmetless as well. And we have Bentley Kalu as Vanek, Kate Kennedy as Kai, and afterwards, coming into the scene, Natasha Kolzak as Riz.
I'd say Vanek suits quality, man.
Ooh.
I love Master Chief, obviously.
Suit-wise, yeah, okay.
Yes, suit-wise, yeah. She did like the black silver one, yeah. Like
Yeah, I do like, and it's hard because I'm jumping ahead here, but Silver Team have more to do in episode 3 and 4, and if you guys have seen it, you know, without jumping too far ahead and getting to it, we're talking about episode 2. I love Kai. I love her. They are still on Chief's side, but have been ordered to find him. John and Quan go to an insurrection base called Rubble, which is hidden inside an asteroid field. Wow!
Ah, beautiful.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved how it looked. Very impressed. They are not welcome there, though. Him being a Spartan. But, man, Chief just takes no shit.
No,
they park that fucking car and block him in. It's just like, get that out of the way.
He's not scared at all. They've all got guns in him. He's just...
No fear.
No emotions.
I'm a Spartan. Yeah. But they reunite with Soren, now played by Bokeem Woodbine. He's an insurrectionist leader. And they find out here as well that the UNSC wanting Quan, and the person who took over her from her father on Madrigal have put a bounty on her head. We then get a train ride across asteroids, which is another visual treat.
Yeah.
And shows coolly how the asteroids are linked, which is very cool. We then meet Soren's son Kessler, played by Tylen Bailey, and his wife Liara, played by Fiona O'Shaughnessy. I'm waiting for the Mass Effect reference. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Yeah, I thought God when I saw Liara. It's spelt differently though.
Yeah.
High Charity. We're back there. The surviving elite from Madrigal reveals to the Prophets and their ward, Mackie, that John activated the relic called a Keystone. So let's stop here. Mackie looks human.
Yes.
So I don't really know anything about her. Spoilers for Damon. One of the next episodes will tell us how Mackie came about to where she is.
I guess that because it was giving her, when she was like undressing, it was giving a lot of attention to her back scar.
Yep.
So I presume it's going to explain.
Oh, at the end of this episode, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mackie, she speaks the language, and she seems to be quite knowledgeable, but also is underling to Prophet Mercy. However, what the important thing here is the relic. It's a keystone. Charlie Murphy plays Mackie. She's a human raised by the Hierarchs and is called a Blessed One. Mackie wants to go and get the keystone, but the prophet Mercy isn't so sure. Mackie insists that she can recover the keystone herself because she can move amongst humans, but it will also lead them to the sacred ring. There we go. Halo.
Yep.
A meeting of UNSC officers turns to Master Chief and a discussion about his potential punishment. Halsey reveals that she has developed a new AI system called Cortana that can be programmed into the Spartans. And she cheekily makes out that Admiral Parangoski is involved. And you can tell by Parangoski's face, she's like, you fuck.
Yeah, you bitch.
Yeah, like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Cortana is an upgrade to humanity and a way for them to control Spartans completely. That is Halsey's argument. On Madrigal, the UNSC implanted leader is an absolute arse. This is Ben Gorman as Vincent Grath, as we see him executing members of the insurrection. If you watch a lot of British TV, you'll know this guy's face. He's been in stuff, I think most prominently Torchwood, the Doctor Who spin-off many years ago.
Yep.
But he's also been in other things. You'll know his face. He's a good actor.
Yeah,
he does villain good.
He's been in a few films, and I'm sure because he's there's two people I recognise. It was him and obviously Soren.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Soren and John discuss the latter's behaviour, the Spartan program, and what John is doing. So we get a lot of detail here about their past as well. Spartan program arguing about it, and what the fuck are you doing now, John? Do you know what I mean? And John struggles here. We'll mention here Pablo Schreiber. He can be really stoic. He's got to be. So acting's hard to judge.
Yep.
But when it comes to confliction, I think he does a really good job. And here, seeing his friend living a normal life seems to really unnerve John. Almost like, could I have had this?
Yeah, it's, like,
it's weird for him.
The thing I like about it is that he doesn't have to speak. It's his facial expression.
We get a lot of emotion from him. We do.
I mean, when the little boy stamps his hand.
It's really good scene.
It's like, what the hell is this? Like, he's confused.
Again, I'm sorry to keep doing this to you, but in a later episode, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I think one of my favourite memories of the show, because currently it's my favourite memory up to date, is, of course, people, you know what I'm talking about, when John sees Reach with new eyes. That might be the most touching, emotional moment, and it's in a later episode, and I won't say why or how that happens, but it is wonderful. Wonderful. But anyway, Silver Team have tracked John to the asteroid field. Miranda Keyes tries to talk to Admiral Parangoski about her getting the keystone. They all fucking want the keystone. How are they any better than the Covenant? Covenant want it. They want it. Everyone wants it. Back in the rubble, John shows Soren the keystone. But when Soren touches it, nothing happens. Intriguing. So then we know, because you could say, all right, no, he's broke a Spartan programming. Maybe that's why. Because you still think maybe it might be all Spartans. Yep. Soren then takes him to Reith, a man who once was held captive by the Covenant and survived. And Reith is he's a bit off, a little bit off.
Yeah. I think the guy who plays him
brilliantly.
Yeah, very
brilliantly.
Well. Yeah.
He does. Basically, he's insane.
Yeah.
He's been driven insane. John shows Reith the keystone, and Reith reveals that the Covenant are searching for these artifacts. He touches it, nothing happens, because, as he says, I'm not a blessed one. Which is interesting.
Yep.
Because obviously that's what Mackie was called. But you're like, but what does that make John?
Yep.
Okay. Reith picks up the keystone, and, while ranting, to get John to touch it, because he knows if he just tells John to touch it, John won't touch it. He throws it at him. So John catches it, and it activates. And it activates in a way that's quite chaotic. John gets more memories of what appears to be his family. And the activation causes chaos throughout rubble, and Reith freaks out. Love John shouting, "What am I?"
Yes.
Because it's like, I'm a bit stressed out about this. It's a bit Batman-y.
Yeah,
in the voice. Reith then talks about a ring. A doorway to the end of life as we know it, an alien super weapon. Look, I know the games. I know what this is. I know what it is. Destroy the keystone is what Reith suggests. And then destroy yourself is his other suggestion. Like, okay, all right. I mean, cool. All right. John, obviously, after this, is not feeling too good. And he makes a decision. He's going to go back to the UNSC. He figures he can't progress this any further. He needs their help. And he leaves Kwon with Soren, getting Soren the promise to keep her safe. She doesn't want to be left, obviously, but John is like, I don't have a choice in your eyes. And she knows she can't go with him because she'll be executed.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that. He leaves, turns his beacon back on and surrenders to Silver Team. We see John brought back to Reach in handcuffs. I do love the fact that even when he's desuited and in handcuffs, they don't take no chances. No. The guards are insane for
definitely.
him. Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest things, when he first removed his helmet, I got the same vibe that, oh, for God's sake, is that then? No, my helmet. But then obviously he puts it back on when he leaves.
Back on, back off, back on, back off.
Which is what I like. Yeah,
it's power armor. We know it's power armor. So, like him being let out of the ship, of course we're gonna take your power armor off you because it helps you.
It protects you.
Don't forget the show. We get POVs all the time. Where you get the shield sound effects. We got all of the stuff that exists in Halo. So this is not a surprise. But John is put in a cell where Halsey comes to visit him, getting the keystone at the same time when John's being led off. They talk in the cell about what he's done in the keystone. We then see Kwon watching footage of Vincher and Mackie elsewhere stripping off her Covenant garb. So a little bit of nudity here for you.
Yep.
Don't worry, the show will balance out. You'll get some nice John ass later on in another episode. Okay, so it's fair.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Halsey speaking to John though promises a new beginning, and we see her awakening a Flash clone of herself to create Cortana. This will be the start of the Cortana program.
Yep.
So we're a little less in depth on this one because I don't really want to do these episodes too in depth. I kind of want to brush over things as we talk over things and stop when we need to. But this was a nice, good second episode. Well, not as action-packed in any way as the first. In fact, it's very talky for the most part. I think it needed that because we had the action in the first one.
Yeah, of course.
Now we need to set up a lot of other different elements. We're building. We're building to elements. We're building to the Keystone part. We're building to Cortana. We're building to the disparity between Chief, the rest of the Silver Team, and the UNSC overall.
Yep.
We're introducing and building up to Mackie, doing her side of things as well. Kwon, her frustration, and the issues on Mad. All these threads are developing.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that.
All different little stories and each sort of side path.
Yep.
And I think obviously John's going to go. Obviously, I think eventually it's going to work out that Halsey is using him completely getting what she wants.
Yep.
Which is the keystone. Yeah,
because I think it's really important as well as episode sets up the fact that Halsey isn't necessarily a good person.
No.
And you see that, for example, she's more interested in getting the artifact than going to see John after John's been arrested.
Yeah, I mean, if she finds out, well, I presume she probably already knows that he's the blessed one. That she's going to need him even more.
Well, that's the thing as well. We don't. At this point, we don't fully understand what a blessed one means.
No,
what does it mean? Okay, they can activate a keystone, but what does that mean? And why is Mackie one as well?
Yep.
Elements like that. It was a good episode. It was a nice continuation. I was still excited to carry on. You know?
Maybe she's his sister. Maybe part of the family.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's the joy. Yeah. We do not know. We're talking through the episode step by step. This is episode 2 Unbound. You got any thoughts, Nick? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?